Speak out with Stewy. Speak out with Stewy. Speak out with me. Let your voice free. Speak out with Stewy.
And you were definitely one of the first to really just knock me off my chair, out of my shoes, whatever, with your oratory. Like you were just so different in real life, like I was. I mean, you were voted homecoming king. You were so happy. You were so powerful, and just in your daily life, you seemed to have a command of your life. And in reality, you didn't come from a secure, safe home. So if you want to talk about that, I would love to talk about that. But if you're not ready, I don't want to push you. I just want this to be an opportunity for people to see people of other colors, people who have other experiences, who may watch these videos, and students as well, who might see themselves in you. Just hear you talk about things that you feel passionately about. Sorry, and I don't know, but I'm gonna make this video and I'm gonna give it to you before I publish it, and you're gonna say, take that out, keep this in, I don't like that, you know, whatever you decide, or I want to redo it. So it's really like that, and you can talk about whatever you want. And then I had a couple notes. I mean, obviously your oratory is the big thing for me, that just like, oh my God, this child, I love this child and I'm going to adopt him immediately because he's amazing.
It was so long ago. It was like,
I know. How many years ago has it been?
like 10 years.
10 years.
Longer, I think, like.
Yes.
12.
So you were maybe, I don't know how old you are now, but you were a baby, like a sophomore?
I think I was 16 and I'm 28 now.
Oof. Making me feel old.
Well, you don't look it, so that's good.
Well, thank you. I'm just making sure. Okay. And just also, like, kind of what I said, you know, any negative experiences you've had, but any positive experiences. It doesn't have to just be like, this is when I was done wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know. I think you're a very inspirational person to all your students. Of course, I'm probably going to steal some of your poetry and splice it in here from Facebook or something, but you seem to be pretty open about your journey and where you come from. And I don't know, what do you want to talk about, Edgar?
Yeah, let's talk about, I guess we can start with the oratory. I think, well, the topic was domestic abuse, right? And it was, I think, I honestly can't even tell you what, like, sparked the need or, like, the desire to write about that, right? Because the oratories that were shown to us didn't really go down that route. So, but I honestly can't tell you what made me write about that, but I think it was just like, it was an outlet that I took the opportunity to kind of unpack what had happened to me in a controlled environment, because for so long, like, that's something you and I share in common, that we lacked that controlled environment. We lacked security, and we lacked stability. And so writing it, I got to create the narrative for my own. Like, I got to tell the parts of the story that impacted me. I got to tell the facts of my life, right? Because it was my mom that was being abused physically. And as I got older, I realized that I was also being abused emotionally, right? As I got older, like, this idea of toxic masculinity and what it should be, what, you know, coming from a Hispanic culture, and machismo being such a core engraved trait in males, I really struggled. Kind of, it took so long. For me, I feel like it took longer to get to where I am now, because I was pushing back on what I was told I was supposed to be like. But it began with unpacking what happened to my mom, and it later evolved to realizing it also affected me in more ways than I thought.
Do you want to talk about that night? It's sort of burned into my memory because it was so vivid, the way you described it, and the way It makes me want to cry just thinking about that sweet little baby that you were. But it was interesting because I had another student with a similar story that came into my life later, who was also from a Hispanic family and had a very similar domestic violence situation. So it was so unique to you, and yet there are other children dealing with similar situations, you know? So kind of that night.
Yeah, so I'll do like a quick little synopsis.
I'm not asking you to break down crying. This isn't an audition or anything, you know, but if you're comfortable.
Yeah, so like it was a Tuesday. I remember being a Tuesday, and my family and I had we were in the living room doing laundry, and just normal Tuesday. We all went to bed, and then we woke up. There was a shatter. Someone had broken in through the window. Later to find out it was my dad and my uncle who were under the influence of, for sure they were like had done some cocaine, but they were on something else, and I don't remember what it was or if I ever knew what it was.
And how old were you?
I was in 8th grade, 7th, 8th grade, so I must have been like what,
12, 13.
Yeah. And so I woke up with a man in our hallway wearing a ski mask. And the first thing I do, I mean, there's so many different noises happening, crying, yelling. All I do is just roll over off the side of my bed. And I see that my phone is on the opposite side of the bed, but it's connected to the charger, which is connected to an extension cord, which is on the side of the bed I rolled over. And so I'd start to tug that extension cord to get my phone, but then the extension cord is also attached to the lamp and the TV and a clock or something. So it all starts shifting with it, and I pause and very selfishly, and I was a child, so I don't hold myself like accountable or blame myself for anything, but I was just terrified. Like I would make noise and they would come hurt me. So I just let go of the phone and just, I saw one of the guys, my uncle, was kind of beating on my stepdad at the time. They were in the bathroom, kind of just like going back and forth. He got free and ran out the door. And then when my uncle chased after him out the door, he called out for my dad, and he said my dad's name. And then my dad chased after him. So they both left, and my mom comes looking for us. My sisters, everyone's crying, of course. There's blood on the walls. It's just so. Well, honestly, it probably lasted a total of like 2-3 minutes, but it felt like it lasted for like, I can't even tell you. It just felt forever. Like it's just never ending.
And you had 3 baby sisters, or 4?
There was 4, right?
4.
So the twins were in their own room, and the 2 younger ones, one Jaden, who had just been born a few months old, was sleeping on the bed with my mom, and my dad had gone into that room and jumped on top of her and was choking her, trying to kill her. And my mom grabbed my sister and just thrusted her off the bed so that my dad wouldn't get on top of her or something. And so
I know you talked about in your oratory that you felt a lot of guilt because you were frozen with fear and you were unable to make that phone call. And I know that was hard for you. How have you sort of processed that and maybe come to terms with the fact that you were a child?
I really can't like think of a specific moment where I was like, you know what, it's okay. I think just growing up, being, like watching other students, because I mean, I think your audience knows I'm a teacher, former teacher, watching other students kind of beat themselves up over things that really at the time might have felt that, I guess there was more they could have done in a certain situation, right? And seeing it from this perspective, feel like things happen the way they happen, and there's no benefit in lingering at what could have been, right? Mm-hmm. And so let's say I would have pulled the thing, and they would have come in here and they probably would have hurt me, you know, and what would have happened then, or like they would have drawn attention to my other sisters, or like it was an awful situation that could have been worse. It was an awful situation that could have been better, but dwelling in that doesn't benefit anyone, you know. And so it did take a long time to come to that realization, but it really only happened after seeing younger people in different situations but with similar like thought processes, and be like, oh, like you're so young, right? And like as we get older, like I'm 28, but I can mess up in a field that's new to me and want to beat myself up. But there's such like we have to have grace and a learning curve and patience with ourselves, or
And
else
forgive.
and forgive, yeah. Because like, and I'm very like that saying like forgive and forget. I for some reason I can't agree with that. Like I don't want to forget, right? I don't want to. I'll forgive myself, but I don't want to forget the things that made me who I am. But I'm not forgetting, but I'm also not punishing myself, you know. And so there's like, that's like a phrase that is commonly thrown out that I just can't get myself to like back. To each their own, I guess.
So you were my student, then we became teachers together and we coached speech and debate together. So you have taught for how many years? 5 years?
5 years, yeah.
And one of the things that I think we have in common is we don't use the tragedies of our past as an excuse for failure. We've both always used them as motivation to succeed. I know that you're saying your past is a part of who you are, but it doesn't define you. It doesn't pull you back under. You're still using it as fuel to follow your dreams and be successful. And I know you're all packed up over there and about to move to LA to make the big acting pursuit and be amazing and successful. And I'm so excited for you. But how did you use that to mentor students? And do you have any examples of students that you feel benefited from your experiences? Because if we use those experiences, then it makes them feel like they meant something.
Yeah. I mean, it's so crazy when like I 100%, there are so many students like I feel I was able to reach because of things I've been through. And I'm trying to think of a specific one right now, but nothing comes. That's just like it's the few students that I love, and like you said, like would want to adopt, like want to keep in touch with forever and want to see grow and like be their fans and so forever. Like one of them in mind that specifically, he had both his parents, he still does, but he struggles to meet eye to eye with what he wants in life and what they expect. And he's from Asian descent. They had him when they were older, and so the relationship is lacking there. Like he hungers for a better relationship with his father, and like I never really had the opportunity, but I also hungered for that. And so him and I kind of bonded over like sometimes I would go to certain shows he was in because his parents weren't going to be there, you know, or I would take him home. I know I'm not supposed to, but I would take him home sometimes. I can't get fired now, right?
Give him a ride home. Yes, we've all done it.
It's like, and it just, he's graduated now, and like he's grown up to be such independent, and he still yearns for that relationship, obviously, but he doesn't beat himself up anymore, because for a long time it felt like it was his fault that something didn't click. But like parents are humans too, and parents are not perfect, and he still wants to try. But yeah, him and I like bonded over that want for something that unfortunately I never had, and maybe he might never have, you know. But that was very, because I love the kid to death. Like I would
I actually
Like,
know who you're talking about because I got to teach him for 1 year before I moved. But yes.
okay, yeah, I think I know. You know, he wrote an oratory about toxic masculinity.
Yes. And the students that I had when I was in my 20s, they're only of 8 to 10 to 12 years in age difference. So now they're just my friends. And even though I'm old enough to be your mother, you're just my friend. We did a show together. I wrote a musical, Slow Dancing with My Tractor, with Justin Fields and my son Trevor. And yeah, you came and did a show with us. So, and we raised money for Out Youth, the LGBTQ homeless youth program in Austin. And so really, I'm just so proud of you for giving back. You had so much that you went through, and you've turned it into a positive, and you're just getting it out there. And I know when you make it big, you're gonna still continue to give back, but in different ways, I hope.
I hope. I mean, it's so crazy. Like, I can't. These past few weeks have been so hard emotionally for me. I've been just overwhelmed with like fear, obviously, like something new to do. Like what happens if it doesn't work? Or just so many different things. But I've just have caught myself in just like a state of fantasy. I'm like, wait, this isn't a fantasy. Like, I'm actually going out to LA. Like, 15-year-old me would have never thought in a million years this was a like possibility. And like, I'm so blessed. I'm so excited. But I constantly I want the platform. I want the platform to do what you did for so many of us, right? You gave us voices and you gave us like a stage. And you like, because I really didn't start acting until I met you, right? And then you pushed me, and then because of that push, others noticed me and they pushed me, and I'm ready to stop being pushed. I'm ready to start doing the pushing myself. Like, I want the platform to give back in a larger scale. Like, teaching has been great and I loved it, and it's been rewarding, and it's been something I've loved to do, but I know I can do bigger. I know I can do more. And that's like, and to do it while I'm doing something I love, like, how crazy. Like,
Yeah.
Well, you and Chinazo were a superpower couple of duet acting and duo acting with one of the most amazing Empire Strikes Back multicultural version. You were a fantastic Luke Skywalker and a incredible Hispanic Han Solo. Oh, I still love it. Do you remember any stories that I've told you that particularly you remember from my own life? I'm just curious. I may add some of these stories at the end.
I do. I remember your accidents more than anything. The one where it was a really bad car accident, and I think like the car was totally totaled. I think you were driving home. I don't remember, but I think what initiated was an argument, or you left. I don't know. Something happened, but I remember that moment where you thought like, I might die. And I remember you talking to me about like really coming to the honest realization that this could be the end, right? And like,
I was drinking and driving as a 19-year-old. You probably blacked that out. You didn't want to remember that I was drunk driving. Not good. I was on my way home from an audition. Not good. Yes, but that led into a really long story about other stuff. So yeah, the gist of it was like, at the end, why did I survive? Why did God save me? Because my whole life has been a disaster up until now, of just tragedy after tragedy.
And it's so crazy. Like, yeah, you told me about like dating experiences and guys you dated that were like abusive and manipulative and just downright
Toxic.
awful individuals, right? Um, but I think that was so unique to me because I mean, like, I think it's not just us. I think people do wonder, like, why me? But it happens in the negative and the positive, right? Like, I won this award. I can't believe, like, I deserve this. Like, or I got this promotion. Like, why me? You know, like
Mm-hmm.
we ask ourselves that, and just you telling me that as like what I saw as an established adult, like with the whole family, right? With the picture
Yeah.
perfect family, like talented son, like amazing husband, like has like such a long relationship. Something that was new to me. I had never seen something like that, right? Like a unit like that was functioning. Right? And I know it wasn't perfect, but that's what I saw, right? And I was like, wow, someone like this thinks like that or thought like that. Like I can also be somebody, be something.
We all can.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where we come from and what happened to us. If we turn it around and we use it for good, but there's definitely nobody that's going to be a bigger cheerleader for you than you, right?
Yeah.
So you can do it. I mean, if you need a pep talk, you call me from LA. I will give you the pep talk. But yeah, you got this. You're going to be amazing. I'm super proud of you. I'm excited to see what you're going to do. And I love that you've really overcome your family's history of toxic masculinity and abuse, and that you're just turning it around and going to make it something really positive. One other thing I wanted to ask you is, and we don't have to talk about this if it's weird, but you were born here, right?
I was.
But your mom wasn't?
Correct.
And did she get citizenship yet?
You still know.
So we may not want to bring this up.
Oh, like, that's fine.
I don't want your mom getting deported.
I don't think she won't.
Okay.
No, but it's
I might just cut that part out. But I wondered if you had any experiences with fear of immigration or immigration affecting your family, because the Dreamers just got some support that I'm super happy about. But we still have a lot of other people here that really, really want to become residents and not have to have that fear. So do you have any experiences about that or racism or anything that you want to share?
Yeah, so like I was born here, but as soon as I was born, like I was maybe here for a couple weeks and then we moved to Mexico because my mom had me at 15 and my mom needed her mom. And so lived in Mexico for about 7-8 years, then moved here, moved back and forth. So like now that I've gone older and like think back of certain situation, like wow, that person was being a racist. I have a ninth grade ninth grade history teacher who pulled me aside after I turned into an assignment and told me she went easy on the grading because of the language barrier between you people. And I walked away saying thank you. It's like, oh, thanks. Right. Like
And then
that's
realized
so
I'm in advanced and AP and IB classes. What are you talking about?
and I was like, what do you mean? Fast forward like few years, I'm like, what does she mean, you people? Like what? Like everything just clicked later, but
Yeah.
and other things happen, right? But
Your mom is an amazing, strong woman who has raised how many? 5 amazing children, basically by herself. And we need to see what we can do to help her to live in a fearless state, because fear, it seems to be driving so many people in our world, especially right now, because this is during COVID and Black Lives Matter, and we really have to think about that. Fear should not be our biggest motivator. It's causing a lot of violence and a lot of problems. We won't get too much into that, but is there anything that else that you want to say about anything that you feel strongly about?
like I don't know. I think I've said a lot. I mean, I'm just like very, very like it's doing like what you said. Like we're the times that we're living through right now sometimes seem so surreal. Like I can't believe this is what's happening. Um, but it's just it's nice to see. It's nice to see change because it gives people like me hope who
Absolutely.
have been marginalized, have been oppressed, have been overlooked. You know, like it's not like this isn't it. Like we can't stop here, but like it for me it gives me like a such again a push because now they're pushing for like people of color and talent agencies, right? They're pushing for that ethnicity and I was like, oh, I'm ethnic.
Hollywood just woke up. Hollywood just woke up. We've had all white Oscars multiple times, but Hollywood is finally coming around, and this is such a great opportunity for you. I'm so thrilled for you.
Like, and I'm so excited, and like, and sometimes I think, like, should I have gone to New York right after high school, right? Should I have so many things that I shouldn't dwell on, but like this timing feels right, you know, like, and my craft is not what it was back then. I feel so much more secure and like proud of where I'm at as an actor, but I definitely have so much more to go. But this feels good, and it feels like inspiring. Like it's crazy, and it sounds so like self-absorbed, almost narcissistic, but like it's okay, I think, to be inspired by yourself and be inspired by your own journey and like let that be fuel when there isn't any other like there's nothing else fueling you, right? Like I want to say I'm proud of myself.
I'm proud of you too, and I'm glad to see your journey over the last 15 or 10, 12 years has just gotten you to where you are, and you're just incredible. I mean, you're educated, you got your degree, and you used it to give back. You paid your dues in the public school system.
I did.
Teaching English.
I know, that's ironic, huh?
I love it. And now you're off to chase your dreams, and that's really the best gift you can give yourself, I think. Just chasing your dreams. So, do you have any ideas for my theme song? Speak Out with Stewy. Do you have any ideas?
Are you like looking for a jingle or like you want lyrics?
I don't know. Maybe a jingle, maybe lyrics, maybe an interpretive dance.
I would it be cool to somewhere in this jingle, whatever, to hear like the gargling noise Chewbacca makes, like.
Didn't Chinazo do that?
We did it together.
Okay, I'm gonna be interviewing her soon, so I'll see if she can do it. I was like, but she did it.
Some like right here, yeah. But like,
okay,
like very subtle, like very subtle, like just like put that
I'm
Star
just rolling
Wars.
my tongue.
Well, a lot of people can't do that, so that's a.
Put it on, prawn. I learned it in Spanish class, which I was terrible at. So anyway, well, when do you leave?
Wednesday's my last day. I leave Thursday, 7 a.m.
Okay, you better stay in touch.
Yeah, I would really like that.
I don't want to hear about you on a true Hollywood story, which is when something terrible happens to an actor that moves to Hollywood and they find their body in a dumpster or something. I don't want to hear that. Okay. I want to hear the positives, but also, the struggle.
Yeah, I definitely I'm excited to I want to have a scandal, like, I want to
but not your dead body in a dumpster.
Yeah, no.
Just a scandal where you have like a beef with someone.
Yeah. Like someone said something racist and I stood up to them, being like a young actor, like, wow, he literally stood up for himself with the risk. I don't know. I'll probably just make it up myself and post it.
Yeah. And then Ryan Murphy creates a whole Hispanic show about you and your journey to LA or anything. It could be from any era. He can do anything. He's amazing. I love Ryan Murphy. I loved Hollywood. Did you see Hollywood?
I did. I loved it.
Don't be working at a gas station, Edgar.
Hey, whatever pays the bills.
But that kind of gas station, they be paying the bills, pumping something other than gas, Edgar. Okay, well, do what you got to do, I guess.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, I love you. You're amazing. I'm so proud of you. I can't believe you're all grown up
With blonde hair.
with blonde hair. I like it.
Thank you. I was like full blonde. It hurt. I had chemical burns.
Yeah, I feel like you're going to be in a boy band, though, a little bit with the hair, but it's okay.
Yeah.
What do they do? Bye, bye, bye.
Oh, Stewy, that was the 90s.
I know. That's when you
Boy
were a
bands are back-
child.
Boy bands are back now. We have we used to have One Direction. We have BTS. We have.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
you look like a 90s boy band with your hair like that. I hate to tell you. No,
That's
not
okay.
really. You look handsome. When you went like that, I could see this gorge. Gorge.
Thanks.
All right. Well, if you meet RuPaul, you have to introduce me because
Yes,
he's my
ma'am.
idol.
Okay, I would love that. I would love to meet
Right.
him.
Okay, I love you, and I will be praying for you.
I love you
All right.
too. Thank you, Stewy.
Bye. Mwah.
Speak out with Stewy. Speak out with Stewy. Speak out with me. Let your voice free. Speak out with Stewy. Speak out with Stewy. Oh. Let your voice ring and we will sing. Speak out with Stewy. Speak out with Stewy. Together we're in harmony. Speak out with Stewy. Speak out.